Hello, and welcome to That's Just Human, a podcast that explores all aspects of being human, living in a human body, and dealing with life's obstacles. I'm Elisha LightAngel, by day a massage therapist, and also a human who's had a plethora of human experiences in a human body. And I bring on guests that have really amazing or normal stories. And today I have Super Shawn on. I met Shawn, it's been a few years, at one of my best friend's birthday parties, and just a cool person and all. And we connected via Facebook, and I found out some information about Shawn that we're going to talk about today that just blew my mind. I witnessed Shawn being a very happy person trying to live life to his fullest. It is a beautiful thing to just know and get to see the essence and energy that he puts out. So please say hello and thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Hi, I'm Shawn. I like to go by Shawn because it more describes Super Shawn. It describes who I am. I don't like to be called he, she, or whatever. I just want to be me. I'm a Shawn, a Super Shawn. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, but the one thing that really stands out is the day that I got hit by a forklift at work. I'm an engineer, and I I was testing or having some equipment tested on an aircraft, and I was picking up the equipment and walking across the flight line, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the pavement in so much pain. It was excruciating. I didn't know what had happened to me. Still to this day, I don't even remember how it happened. I don't have any recollection. All I know is
Wow.
it was a lot of pain, and I had a big road ahead of me after that.
Were were they pretty quick to respond, like your coworkers and people that were around to get help for you?
Apparently so. There was a witness that saw it happen, and I'm to the understanding where he was the one that got uh, the the fire department and medical professionals to the scene quickly. So I was taken off the hot pavement, which is August 21st. So the pavement was extremely hot. I had suffered quite a few injuries, but all I knew is I was in a lot of pain.
Mm, I can only imagine. So I'm guessing you spent a decent amount of time at the hospital?
Yes, they transferred me to the hospital immediately. I was scanned partially through my body. I was, my right foot was basically almost dangling from my body. It was not completely attached anymore, and the skin was sloughed off, and that was the major injury that they could see. They could see that my head was bleeding, so they made sure that my head, my mind, everything was okay there. They took a scan of my head, and yes, I did have a head concussion, but the main big injury that they wanted to take care of was my foot, my ankle being basically detached from my body and just dangling. I had been dragged, so I had a huge abrasion on my left leg as well. So my right foot and my left leg, and in my head that they could tell. So, but
Wow.
yeah.
So if that's what they could tell, does that mean that they discovered more when they got you in and started examining your body from head to toe?
Well, they didn't notice it at first. Later on, they through actually continuing healing, and as things got healed here, I could feel other pains other places. So, like I had a left separated shoulder as well that they did not discover until the next year. this happened August 21st, and the shoulder wasn't uh, discovered until January of the next year.
Wow. So were they able to surgically, I guess, put your foot back on?
Yes, they used screws to get the bones back together, and they put the skin back together, and it didn't take. The skins died. I watched my foot turn black, and it had to be debrided. So they had to take me in for another surgery to remove all that tissue and skin that was dead. So
Wow.
I didn't have much left of my foot by the time they got done with it. It was I have to I kind of describe it as a gnawed on chicken bone. It was
Mm,
horrible. Yeah, and then they had to put me on a wound vac to help. Well, so they during the debriding they put a cow graft in there to help promote tissue growth, and that and then they put me on a wound vac, which is a negative pressure pump to suck down onto my foot, and it was like sponges, and it pulled out all the disgust and infection as it grew the tissue back out. And it was so basically my foot is made up of an ankle is made up of a lot of scar tissue, which is binding. It's kind of like wearing a straight jacket on your foot all the time.
wow.
So
That is sounds incredibly painful. I can't even imagine. Aside from physical pain, what kind of emotional state did you, or even like move through? Because I'm assuming there was lots of them over the course of time and healing.
well, initially when I was hit, I mean I could not. I was like, oh, okay, let's get the foot healed and let's get me back in physical therapy. Get me in physical therapy and ready to start walking. And they said, nope, you're going to have to keep your foot elevated and off of it I had to do that for 3 months. So I had to lay in bed for 3 months with my foot elevated above my heart.
Mm.
And at one point, it was resting on a pillow, and it got a stage 4 decube, so it rotted all the way to the bone. And they said, you can no longer rest it on a pillow, touch it with anything. So I had to rest it over a pillow and not let it touch anything. So I didn't sleep. I just laid there all the time, awake, trying to keep my foot. I'm going to keep my foot, because they said you're going to lose it if it goes any further. So I had a lot of drive to I wanted to get back to me. I wanted to get back to the person that I love being, which is a physical, outdoorsy, hiking, mountain biking, rollerblading, snow skiing person that just wants to go out and enjoy life. And that was my drive to get better.
Mm. So would you say even before this accident that you were very much into living life to its fullest, or is there some of this process that even shifted your mindset more from before the accident and then to who you are now?
I'd say the accident did drive me more to not not wait for anything. When you can do something, don't wait. Don't wait to do it, because that moment may not ever be available again, especially knowing I could have never got to do any of that again.
Mm,
So, yeah.
wow. Did you have a support system while you were going through this?
Yes, I had my wife she's now been with me for 23 years, and she was there by my side and uh, she did a lot of care for me, making sure I was getting what I needed. I did have home health care. I had a nursing care paid for by workman's comp, um, which was, they came and gave me baths and nursed my foot and ankle and my abrasions and stuff like that on my body. My mom did come down from Oklahoma, and I had her there, and she was more of just a mom support than she was helping me uh, with getting stuff. It was more Rebecca, my spouse.
Mm. Do you feel that that helped to strengthen your relationship going through this?
Oh yeah, yeah. She. I just knew at that point we were soulmates. She was the person for me. I'd been through other relationships where they weren't there for me, so but Rebecca was, and yeah, it definitely strengthened our relationship.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, how long of a process did it take for the foot to heal?
Um, well, so this happened August 21st, and then of the next year, it was swollen, and I finally got into shoes June 9th of the next year. I finally got physically into an orthopedic shoe. They had to put my foot, take measurements of my foot, and so I could not fit into my old shoes. I had to wear different shoes because my foot was shaped differently and in a sense larger than it used to be. So all my old shoes went away, and I got new shoes, and I finally got into a physical therapy program that was called work conditioning, and it helped me build my strength back up. It wasn't just my foot; it was my whole entire body. Laying around for 3 months, all that athletic muscle uh, was gone. My body was weak. I went from 110 pounds to 97 pounds,
Ooh.
and I was weak. I had to pin on my underwear. They would fall off otherwise. I had um, no meat on my body really. So it took a long time to get my body to the point where I could actually just walk and just do anything normal. Um, I was still in physical therapy a year later. I got a notice from my work that said I had to get back to work by August 31st. I was going to lose my job and my benefits. And that was another blow, that I was so upset about because here's a company that, they're the ones that caused this. And yet they're also the ones that are telling me I'm going to be fired if I don't get back to work. So I had the drive to get back to work because I wanted to keep my house, everything the livelihood that I've built, that Rebecca and I have built together. And that was another drive, is just to be able to, not lose that.
Did you end up getting to go back to work by then, or did you lose that job and have to find something later?
So I was still going to see my doctor on a basically weekly basis. I had so much injury to my body and so much physical therapy that I got my doctor to release me to go back to work 20 hours a week, which is the minimum I had to work to keep my job and benefits. So he released me to do that, and I stayed in physical therapy and and continued doing that while I was working. So I'd go to work for part of the day and then go to physical therapy for part of the day. So in a sense, I was still working a full day, but just keeping my job. And they had to move me to a different building and a job downstairs so I could physically get into my cubicle and work.
As an engineer, is a lot of your work done on a computer? I don't know. So um, my brain does not think like that.
So prior to the injury, I was out working on an aircraft. doing testing, doing a lot more physical uh, parts of my job. Sometimes climbing a tower and testing the antennas up there, the preamps, and after the injury, my job became more of the computer aspect, where I was only on the computer, and that was trying for me because I'm such a physical, living, moving around kind of person. So um, the computer was just part of my job and became more of my job.
Okay.
Harder.
And are you still doing the same job today?
Um, my job has evolved over time. I'm still doing engineering, and I'm liking my job on a daily basis, but it's still mainly on the computer. So I really did like the job that I had prior. It just evolved into a more computer job after the injury, and just with time, just how things evolved at the company I was working. And but I still like my job a lot, and I get out and walk around the plant a lot to keep my physical ability. So I get up from the computer to just keep my foot. If I sit for too long, it just stiffens up and it hurts. So I get up and walk around a lot.
And at this point, how many years are you out from this injury?
At this point, I am 18 years.
Okay. So that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've
It's
been with the same company the whole time?
I do.
Wow. That's
It's
impressive.
yeah. I was 20 years. I was 20. Well, no, I was 18 years with the company when it happened,
Wow. Wow,
and
incredible.
yes, yeah. So I didn't want to lose my all the benefits I had gained from this company. So I switching jobs, and plus I was working part time. They were allowing me to work part time. I didn't get back to work full time till 10 years later. So I did not. I lost a lot of money.
Mm.
Workman's comp paid me 38% of my pay. Even though I had short term disability, they wouldn't, workman's comp overrides it. So um, uh, short term disability would have been 75% of my pay, whereas workman's comp was 38%, but I didn't have a choice. But fortunately, I had taken long term disability, which lasted a year. So I was able to get full pay, or up to 60% of my pay, I should say, for a year. And then when I went back to work at 20 hours a week, that's all I got.
Wow.
That's all I got. And so then I built that back up. I'm back to full time now. But it was a lot of money lost, and workman's comp in Texas. It's not for the people. It's for the companies. They they gave me an impairment rating, which paid me essentially with all my impairment only $18,000 for my injury, and nowhere made up for all the money and time and suffering.
No, definitely not. And I mean, you're still, like you said, you sit down too long and then your foot stiffens up. So you're still dealing with the injuries even to this day and for the rest of your life. And
Yeah,
I don't know if they could even money compensate you enough for
no.
going through that.
I tried to get an attorney on my behalf, and no attorney would take my case because it's oh, you have to prove gross negligence, like the company did it on purpose. For
Wow.
workman's comp in Texas, it you just basically don't have any rights as an employee. It just That's it. You get what you get.
Man. So once you, I guess, probably had done some physical therapy, you're in your boot. What is one of the first things that you got out and did that you had been dreaming about doing this whole time you're having to be in bed?
Taking walks. I would just take walks outside and just enjoy being outside. Just enjoy walking down the street. That was a huge step. Um, Also, just going out to eat, physically getting out of my house and going and being back a part of the world, without having to be at a doctor's office or a, a physical therapy place. I mean, it was a big deal just to try to get back to normal. Going to the restroom without having to hold on to a something that with one foot. I mean, oh my gosh, it was everything. Opening the door, um, everything was a very big challenge that you take for granted, and
Mm,
just really just operate on a normal basis. Oh my gosh, it was a huge accomplishment.
wow. Did you have other people, because people can be cruel in this world, unfortunately, was once you were out and about, did you have any issues with other people being hurdles for you or being annoyed because you were slower or anything like that?
Um, I had an incident happen that annoyed me because I live in a relatively, I mean, a lot of people know me. So I was at a at a Lowe's, and I was approached by somebody at the company that had known the person that had hit me with the forklift and said something to the fact, "Well, I'm so glad to see you up and about. The guy that hit you was so messed up in his head. He got 2 weeks off with pay." And I'm like, "Wow, what a
Wow.
broken system we have." And I was that annoyed me a lot because I'm like, here I went through all this, and this guy that did this, he still has his job and got 2 weeks with payoff. I'm like, that was a slap in the face. As far as people, I didn't get any other than me going to a restaurant and needing to put my foot up to keep it elevated, and them not liking me doing that. I had to suffer, you know.
Wow. Did the guy that hit you ever apologize after you went back to work?
He wanted to apologize, but workman's comp and companies don't want to let people, the individuals that caused the problem, to communicate between each other. I don't know. I would have loved to heard that apology. I think it would have been very healing, but it was a company policy that kept us apart.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to speak after something. I think for both of you, because I can imagine that this person, like you said, they were mentally screwed up, probably for a lot longer than 2 weeks that he had off of work. If I hit somebody, I mean, if I hit a squirrel, I'm
Yeah.
I'm having I'm having a panic attack and feeling bad and crying my eyes out. So to hit a person and have so many injuries and somebody that I work with would be so detrimental to
Yeah.
the headspace, and then to be told that I can't talk to them or apologize. Oh my gosh. And even for you, like you said, to hear, and I'm sorry, like I didn't see you, or I'm like screwed up now because I hit you and it's the worst thing in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was yeah, that was an eye-opening experience. I just like really I would have loved to heard the apology, but I got a lot of support through friends and family, mainly through friends around me, and even coworkers that would come help me get my lawn mowed and uh, stuff like that. That was, those little things. They're big things. Bringing food, helping Rebecca. Hey, because she had a lot on her plate. Still handling her full time job, helping me. So anybody that brought food was very. It was a lot of things like that. That was very helpful.
Well, I'm glad that there were people there that provided that community to help assist. You know, obviously Rebecca is your number one person there, but other people, it sounds like, really came in and tried to do what they could in the situation. And so that's beautiful. Community coming together. That's what we need more of in
For
this
sure.
world, and not just when somebody's horrifically injured, but even just when we're having a mildly bad day.
Yeah, yeah. I really love the people that I work with and the people in our community in my neighborhood. I love people in general. I mean, I try to look at the good in people and for the people to see the good in me. Um, no, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
Really.
I love that. So now that you're 18 years out, are you out there doing all sorts of different athletic things, like I don't know, hiking, or what do you do?
Oh yes, I love the hike. We just got back from going to see some national parks, and particularly we went to Sequoia National Park and Kings Canyon National Park in California, and we got to see the huge trees, the sequoias, and I also got to hike up this big, huge boulder called Moro Rock, and it's a challenging climb all the way to the top, and then you got this beautiful view that's you can see all the mountains and the valleys around, and it was just wow, I get to still do this. I still get to do this. I love just living life. I love life so much, and I love experiencing the beauty of it and the physicalities that it takes to do that stuff. I love the hard that it puts me through,
Mm.
and I love the adrenaline of just like going snow skiing. I got to go snow skiing again and going down the mountain as fast as I can. And it's just amazing. I love it so much.
That is so incredible. Like when you climb this and you do this hard, does it occur to you in that moment, like there's a part that couldn't have done this, but now you're actually able to do this? And so is it more appreciative at this
Oh
point?
yes, yes. Everything I do, I think about the idea that I may not have ever got to do this again, and I appreciate it that much more. It's not taken for granted. Nothing's taken for granted.
Mm, that's so beautiful. So are there any goals that you came up with during the process that you have been able to accomplish since and through the healing?
Well, my first goal, the biggest thing that I was initially working towards is to get to go skiing again, and I did get to do that. It was about 4 years after the initial injury, and I had gone through so much physical therapy. Even after the initial physical therapy, I continued for another few years after that, doing the work on a daily basis, and I continue still. I have never given up on my physical therapy. I still do exercises daily because motion is lotion, and keeping your body strong and able allows me to continue to do all these wonderful things. Rollerblading was a big deal. Mountain biking, getting out there and just feeling free again. Walking, hiking, all of it. It's just I love it all.
Motion is lotion. Can I
Yeah,
steal that phrase from you?
yes you can. It's
I
a great
absolutely love
way.
that. One, because I wish I loved moving my body as much as you do, and I try to I like moving it, but then I forget that I like moving it because I get stuck in my head and I might get into a project that's really brainy or artsy, and then I forget. Then I'll move my body for something and go, oh yeah, I forgot that I enjoy actually doing this, even, you know,
Yeah,
if I'm by myself and I start to sweat, I just stop. It's terrible.
No, I don't mind sweating. In fact, when it's hot Texas, and it's too hot to be outside doing all the things I love to do outside, I'll jog around my living room to get the exercise. The jogging's a great exercise, and with the contours of jogging, outside's not a good deal for me because of my ankle. At least I know I have a very smooth surface inside. So, and it's cool.
That
Um,
makes sense.
yeah. So, yeah, and just playing, and I like to play. I don't know if you've ever seen me playing with the cats and pushing around in a box, or just being fun at home, and even the small things, dancing around the living room. I love just not sitting around.
That
It's
is that is very cool. I think play is something that when we become adults we forget that is really important and adds an element to our life that brings joy, happiness, but I think also new inspiration, new ideas, new concepts because it lets us release the inner child.
Oh yes, I love to play. There's a there's a video out there of Shawn in a box. Yeah, and it's me just playing in a box. I love to play, and it's funny. So I've got that on Facebook. It's a fun thing. But yeah, outside of playing, I do a lot of DIY home projects. I feel it makes me also feel good about myself, being able to do things myself without paying somebody else to do them. Doing Building our home, building our yard, doing landscaping. I've built with the help of Rebecca and some arbors and pergolas and decks and paths and gardens and all that around our house. We have,
Wow.
yeah. So just making our home the best it can be, not settling.
I
And
absolutely love that. It
yeah,
sounds beautiful, pergola pathways, and I hope to someday like make little cement things. I've seen them on Pinterest. People do cement and they put little like those colorful glass in them or make them look like mosaics and stuff and make
yeah,
pathways like that. I just want my home to be like a little magical haven and and that someday people will drive by and be like, some weirdo lives there and like, yeah.
yeah. So we have three palm trees that are like almost like pets, and
Oh,
we planted them back in 2005, and they are amazing. They're huge now, and I mean, no, we can no longer uh, wrap them and make sure that they're going to get through the winter, but they have survived. They are amazing, and they give our backyard this whole statement, and we built around that, so it kind of feels like an oasis. We can put
that's
we can
cool.
the swinging hammocks between the trees, between the palms, and you know it's fun. It's just a beautiful way to build our home to be an oasis and enjoy home life, but also look out. We also love to travel very, very much. So uh, we we work hard so that we can go play.
I like that philosophy. Work hard to
Yes,
play hard.
yes, yes.
Yes, I love it. Is there anything else that we're missing from your story?
Just that life life is full of afflictions, and I I choose to be happy. And now it's easier said than done, because life continues to happen on a daily basis. I just like to put the message out there that, we just have to remember to find something happy, at least one thing in every day, and continue on, because I don't know.
I love that. So I always ask somebody, you may have already just answered this, but my last question I ask is if there's any just like little piece of wisdom from your life that you want to leave the audience with.
Mm. Live for today, and not don't put off today what you can don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today.
Mm.
um, it's you don't know, for tomorrow's not promised, not in life and not in body. um, so if there's something you want to do, work towards that, make it happen, and don't wait.
Yeah, that's good. Good advice, good wisdom. We
Yeah.
we don't know how long we have or what's going to happen in life, so great wisdom. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story and being an inspiration to myself and hopefully other people that hear this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. It's so good to get to talk to you and meet you as a friend. You're an inspiration as well. I just loved seeing you, meeting you back a few years ago.
Oh, thank you. Right. Well, if you're out there and you're still with us, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, follow on any of the listening platforms, share this with any friends if you think they would be inspired as well. And as you travel along your life journeys, just recall that you are you. So be you, be kind, and remember that everything is part of the journey.